Hello everyone. Welcome to our second edition of Let's Talk Wireless. If you haven't had a chance to look at our first Let's Talk Wireless segment, you can see it on Currents. All present and future wireless training materials can be accessed from the latest Let's Talk Wireless Currents articles. Today Brian and I will be discussing more information on wireless networks, the devices, and how Stream's wireless service fits in the picture. Brian, during our last segment, we talked about the top 4 wireless carriers.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of people who may not have seen the first segment, so let's go ahead and review those. The top 4 carriers in the wireless industry in our country are Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile. And we also revealed, while they are considered MNOs, mobile network operators that run the networks, Stream is going to be partnering with 2 of those carriers, and we will be what's called an MVNO, and we'll be on the backbone of 2 of those carriers, which is very exciting.
Yeah, it's great that you recap that. So we're going to be an MVNO, and you mentioned again the 2 carriers. You ready to tell me now who they are, Brian?
Hold on, let me think for a minute. Still no.
Oh, God. Okay.
You guys got to get to Super Saturday, and we'll all find out then.
Okay, Super Saturday will be revealed. But, you can't fault me for trying to ask, But, Brian, one of the most common questions we hear from the field about the top 4 networks is, are there any differences in coverage?
It's funny how that's a buzzword, or everybody's thinking about that. And the most people are assuming that there's big differences in the networks and the different providers. And actually, here's a stat that we've come up with, that there's 2% difference as it relates to coverage around the country. Years ago, there may have been a big gap between the providers, but today, coverage is coverage at this point. Where there might be a dead spot here with one coverage, there's a different dead spot here with the other provider, the coverage of each. So, really is not much difference in the separation in coverage between the top 4 carriers. The major differentiator in the networks is not as much coverage as it is the data network. For example, how fast can I upload or download something? And data is really a subject of its own, and we'll go into depth with that next week on our next edition.
Well, you're right. Data is definitely a hot topic and definitely warrants its own segment for sure. Are there any other differences in the networks?
Well, you can classify the top 4 wireless carriers actually into 2 groups. The first group, AT&T and T-Mobile, use the same technology to provide their service. One of the main distinctions of this technology is that the devices are connected to AT&T and T-Mobile support with what we call a SIM card, a subscriber identity module. This identifies the subscriber or the customer's phone to the network. Now, the other group, Verizon and Sprint, are not primarily identified by a SIM card, but instead each phone is identified by the device itself with an MEID code, or a mobile equipment identifier. These codes are basically the DNA for these phones, and it's how they are identified by the network.
Wow, Brian, you threw out a lot of acronyms just then.
Well, there's a bunch to learn, and I think everybody should learn those ASAP or PDQ.
Oh, gosh. So you would have to put up with, but anyway, I mean, it's funny, though, how each industry does. Whether it's wireless, energy has its own acronyms.
We've had a bunch in energy, and we have a favorite acronym with our company. It's MEI.
And you guys learned that one fast, too, right?
Yeah,
So
we did.
Anyway, so you'll get very comfortable with all the terms in the wireless industry. But how does Stream fit into all of this?
Well, as far as those technologies that we referenced, the great news is that Stream's wireless service is going to support both technologies. What does that mean? That we're going to be able to provide the ultimate flexibility for all of us as associates and for our customers.
Well, that's great, but what about all the different phones and devices that are available today?
Yeah, I think that's, after coverage, that's one of the big things we're getting questions on. And Stream's wireless service will support all devices, including the most popular brands today, which are Apple and Samsung. And Apple and Samsung devices account for 90% of the market share in our country. It's very similar for us to really be able to sell Coke and Pepsi.
That's great. I mean, I'm a Diet Coke fan myself, in case people are wondering out there.
But I can sell you Diet Coke or Pepsi.
Oh, great.
Or Samsung or Apple.
Well, again, certainly great news. So again, if my interpretation of what you said is correct, Stream's wireless service uses the primary network technologies available today, and we will also support all the major devices today and provide the same level of service, quality of service. Is that correct?
That is correct. The benefit to our associates and the customer is going to be that they will have virtually no disruption to their service when they switch to Stream. They can expect the same quality and service of their experience.
Is there going to be any difference? in
Well,
service?
you know, the only difference is that our associates and customers will receive their bill from Stream and customer care from Stream.
Well, and that's certainly good news. So based on what you told me, Stream will have a quality wireless service second to none. We're going to be able to support all the major devices today, and in addition, the process to switch to Stream is going to be a very easy and painless process. I'm sure I speak for all the people watching this video that we like words like quality, painless, easy.
Yeah, matter of fact, one of our new mantras we're thinking about is value, trust, and simplicity.
Brian, I think we covered our main topics today. We still need to come up with one other thing. What should be the wireless term of the day? I was thinking, how about subscriber identity module card?
How about we just stick with SIM card?
Stick with the acronym? Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
Stick with the acronym. So we're just going to say SIM. SIM card is term of the day. And again, we'll be quizzing you later on all these words, terms of the day. But we hope you found this segment beneficial and gave you a comfort level about Stream's wireless service. Our next Let's Talk Wireless, as Brian mentioned, is going to focus exclusively on data. So you definitely don't want to miss that one. So again, thank you for watching, and have a great day, everyone.